Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon and greetings to one and all present here on this virtual platform. I welcome you all to the third and concluding day of 3-day teacher training program on enhancing the teaching learning process. We already have the honor of listening to two eminent speakers on the first and second day who also happen to be the members of IQAC cell of our college, Dr. Ravinder Vinayak and Dr. S.K. Bedi. Dr. Ravinder Vinayak talked about empowering the faculty through research, and Dr. S.K. Bedi stressed upon how online teaching can prove to be a boon for the faculties and students in the times to come. Taking this series a step further, today we will learn about outcome based education and assessment. Traditional education focuses too much on teaching rather than what students learn. Today, not only in India, but around the globe. Outcome means after learning a particular topic or a subject, what the student is able to do. OBE emphasizes learner centric approach. It focuses on the real world relevance of education. Our education system produces lakhs of graduates and postgraduates every year, but unfortunately, they fail to find a suitable employment for themselves for the simple reason that they do not possess the skill set required by the industry. Today's topic will help us how this gap can be bridged. Amongst us today, we have Dr. Kakul Hussain to speak on the said topic. She is a BSc and MSc from Jamia Millia Islamia University. She has been a university topper during all the 5 years of her graduation and post graduation. She did her PhD in 2005 and her first job was in DAV Centenary College, Faridabad, that is our college. Then she worked in Al Falah University, and in 2011 she moved to Saudi Arabia. Since then, she is working in Prince Sattam bin Abdulaziz University. She is an associate professor in chemistry and she is also heading the department of chemistry. She has been assistant dean of quality control unit in her university. She has many research publications to her credit. Has published several research articles in national and international journals. I now invite Dr. Kakul Hussain, ma'am, to present her views on the topic. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of DAV Centenary College, and the mic over to you now, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rajni, and giving me the honor to have this presentation with all of you. So today we will be discussing the outcome-based education and assessment. So I would like to discuss some basic concepts, and then we will conclude the discussion. So here basically that is the stepwise process of education is based on the first step is learning. The students are learning and the education societies are educating them to attain as we call job in India, but universally, globally, it's basically their outcomes which are more associated with the students. Have the student acquired a certain criteria? Have the student acquired a certain knowledge? So that is the outcome of the knowledge or learning process. So basically, when we go along this learning, and there are three steps of knowledge, skill, and aptitudes, and then the assessments concluded by the methods of assessments, and finally the outcome, which is our students. So how efficiently the teachers and the educational institutes are have their outcomes, that is our students, as basically they are able to conclude the full degree program, say graduate, master's program, or any other learning process. Are they able to implement in their daily life, or are they able to implement skillfully or practically, or the knowledge they are able to implement it practically? So we will be discussing here we will be discussing some points. So that is to identify the four essential or the basic component of learning based approach student learning. Then to contrast, to comparison between the outcome based approach with the traditional approach. So we will be comparing. So what was previously taken and nowadays is important according quality determines throughout globally. So then writing learning outcome statements. This is basically it becomes for all necessary for all the teaching staff how to go about writing the learning outcome statement. So this process should be concluded before the course is being started. So before the course, we are going to take another semester or we are going to start the year. This is the duty or this is the group activity of all institute or college teachers and all staff to make a group or to make some people in charge, the faculty of a particular subject, that they are able to write learning outcome statements quite properly, so that while conducting studies, while conducting their outcomes, while conducting the teaching, they are able to implement it. If we don't go prior, if we don't implement it or we don't get right properly prior to start of a course, so we are hazard, we are here and there, we are not able to implement it quite efficiently. So this is a very important point. Write the learning outcomes statements before course starts, and then to discuss the extent that teaching, assessment, and are all aligned intended learning outcomes. So now, what is basically objective and outcome? So this is the very important part of today's workshop, that if we say what is objective, these objectives that are learning outcomes, they are more and more important, they are vital to the society, especially to the educational society and institutes. So to understand this, we should understand the difference between objective and outcome. So objectives are related to the teachers. So it is more to the teacher, the objective, what the teachers are planning, how the teacher is going to implement, and how they are able to make the student learn in the learning process. So outcome is more related to the students or the learner. So this is outcome is towards the student part, and the objectives are related to the teacher. So objective means with what intention the teacher teach the student. Yani, it just only the teacher wants to just give a lecture and go away, or the teacher wants to make the students understand the topic at the same time while the teacher is teaching, or another teacher's job is very important throughout the world since a long year. So the guru is the important part of every society. So if the teacher is not efficiently teaching, the intention of the teacher is take a lecture and go away and have the salary. So that intention means a lot to the society as well, to the institute, as well as to the students. What is the intention? The teachers want to teach the students skillfully. The teacher do to imbibe some knowledge which the student is going to implement in his or her future life. So the outcome now basically entirely focused on the student outcome. So after learning the course or topic, what a student is able to do. So that is practical knowledge. Now this age group of students, they are not much interested in learning. They are like doing a degree course and just finishing up the BSc and having grades. They're more interested in having A plus or the grades which they think, yeah, this is the grade I should attain. So the full knowledge or the or studying to ascertain the knowledge, they are least concerned. Students are not at all concerned. So it is now the more important part which is to be played by the institutes and the faculty at large. So faculty is going to make some criteria, make some program like it is done in school. Like the students are told to germinate a seed, so as from the children should know that there is a root, there is a leaves, how the plant germinate. So in the college also should be implemented in a practical sense. More hand-on tool knowledge should be there, and this is the work of a teacher to create some groups to involve the students to make the knowledge dissipate in such a manner that they skillfully implement in their future lives, and in the job wherever they go is basically able to show their knowledge. That is outcome. Now, why do we adopt outcome based approach to student learning? Why it is nowadays it is necessary? Why? This is basically, it is now become an international trend. So it is implemented out the world nowadays in all the education institutes. So all the institutes, it is like accreditation program, quality wise. Accreditation means it's quality for each and every part of the institute, teaching institutes, like classes, number of students issued to teacher. So now, like we have this professional associations, NAC for India, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and NCAA in Saudi Arabia, National Commission for Academic Accreditation and Assessment. So there are different associations that are now basically having some criteria for knowledge gained by students, criteria each and everything, the labs, classes, the number of ratio to the teachers to the student. So this has now become an international trend. So this is a benefit for the students themselves. So now outcome-based approach to student learning, that is 4 essential elements are involved. Basically is articulation, desired learning outcomes. How do we do that? How do we articulate desired learning outcomes? So this is alignment of teaching, learning, assessment to achieve intended learning outcomes. So now this outcome-based approach to student learning, there are 2 purposes basically. There are 2 major purposes that call it enhanced, because this accreditation is now required by overall globally is required now. And then quality assurance. So it is a process which has to be with efficiently. So what are the learning outcomes? So learning outcomes are the abilities, attributes achieved by students upon completion of a program. So their learning outcomes basically 3 types. So they should able to know and understand a particular topic or a course, why they are being taught, what is the use, what the implementation of that course. They acquire certain knowledge. They are going to have a knowledge of that particular course. Then are they able to perform skillfully, practically? Are they able to perform some experiment or some are able to do some activity expected out of the student? Are they able to perform the activity efficiently, or is there some skill gained by the student? So now, and what should they behave? What should their behavior, that their attitude towards that knowledge or that skill gained by the student? What is their attitude? So these are the 3 learning outcomes, or the so now knowledge that is if students should learn, they should demonstrate that they have acquired a certain level of knowledge. They should demonstrate. They should not just mug up and they are preparing for the exam. So they should know why we have learned a particular topic, and they should interrelate the topics. Suppose there is a particular course and the teacher is trying to complete the chapter. So students should relate one chapter to say 4th chapter. The teacher is now making student teach the 4th chapter. The student should relate that yes, we have studied something in the chapter or the 2nd chapter, and they are now relating the chapters. They are relating their knowledge. Their brain is working. So that is the learning out. So they have learned something. That why they are able to ask questions. That is why they are able to put problems that yes, they are able to relate the subject topics. And then skills. They should demonstrate that they have learned a particular topic. And again, attitudes and behavior, they should be able to demonstrate that they have gathered enough knowledge, enough information of doing a particular activity respect to the attitude or behavior. This is the learning outcomes, either knowledge, skill, attitude, and a combination of all. So what is basically education? This education is plainly focusing on orienting everything on educational society, what is sent to the students. It is basically student oriented. So their learning experiences is more the student oriented, and students are at a beneficial part. So this means that we are starting with a clear picture of what is important to the student, and it is the student is able to do. So then we can organize, or we can plan the curriculum, instructions, and assessment to make sure that this learning is ultimately happening, and this learning process is there. So the process of designing, the learning outcomes are emphasized and are to be predetermined. Yeah. You have to pre-determine, you have to pre-plan, you have to pre-write before starting a program. Actually, this is very, very important. There should some group and some members that should be mainly focusing the teachers designing of this plan for an institute to implement the outcome based learning. If it is not done prior, it will not be done throughout the course, because the teacher gets engaged in making question papers and teaching the student. It should be a prior, yani predetermined set of outcomes which are planned by the teacher. Be it one or two, but it should be implemented. It should be done. It's very few outcomes you are planning for a particular subject. So what is expected from learning after students have graduated? So now necessary skills and capabilities before they enter the workplace. So their capability. So we have this. Hello.
Uh,
So now we.
Sorry to interrupt you,
There any
ma'am.
problem?
Dr. Kakul, your voice is cracking, ma'am, due to, I think so, there is a network glitch over there, network problem.
Is it clear? Now is it clear?
Hello? Yeah, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah,
Now
ma'am.
is it clear?
Yeah.
Am
प्लीज go ahead. We just find out कि हाँ फिर बीच में क्रैक होता है या नहीं होता.
Okay, thank you. So now we have to go with the curricular design, and we have to design the program. Program comes in the bachelor course, and the courses involved therein, say the English or mathematics or some course. So now if we have program outcomes, and then we have to make some instructions, and then the delivery modes into the course delivery sessions. Now we have to then focus on the appropriate assessment methodologies. So now this is outcome statements are broad statements. What are outcome statements? Which has to be pre-written or pre-designed by the teachers. So they are the outcome statements of key abilities and attributes which the student will be able to achieve as a result of learning. So abilities and attributes are articulated with action words. So they are called the level of performance. So now what action verbs for learning outcomes? So different levels of understanding we use that what the student should know and understand. So we are using some verbs that are they to understand, are able to deliver our knowledge in a process of learning. that are they able to understand? There are some verbs to be used. So action verbs for competence, what they are able to do, that is skill, and action verbs for their attitudes, behavior. So they because this learning outcome basically knowledge. There are three: knowledge, skill, and attitudes. So the action verbs are also related to knowledge, skill, and attitude. So this is basically outcome for an engineering program. We can see if they are able to take an example, so to apply knowledge of mathematics. So the apply word is that they are implementing knowledge to the mathematics area, to the science, the engineering. Then to design, conduct experiments. They are able to design and conduct experiments as well as analyze and interpret data. How to design a system or to function on multidisciplinary teams, to identify or to communicate effectively. A question is asked, a group discussion is there among the students. Are they able to communicate this particular topic? So that is what is basically very important. Then have an understanding of professional and ethical responsibility. So then we can say that they possess the ability to engage in a long learning. So if we say what in the MBA program, what is more important is to identify, diagnose problems, assess performance, strategize, plan, communicate. So different programs have different learning outcomes, and this should be followed according to the programs. It should be pre-posed by teachers. So if we say accounting program, so they should analyze, calculate, record, and report, and then interfinancial information. So then use problem strategies or critically create a financial cost, tax, and payroll accounting situation. They should understand the interrelationship of both manual and automatic systems, including and apply computer technology utilizing the sheets. This different procedures for variety of communication methods and function and develop demonstrate. These are the verbs: analyze, and there are so strategies: understand, apply, communicate, function, demonstrate. So these are the verbs used in writing learning outcomes by the faculty. If they pre-write, so they be having a basic information. So what is even they plan certain and few of them, and they are able to implement in say first semester, and they are continuing it in the next semester. So they can see whether they're able to get the outcomes from the students or not. So now we discuss the verbs, knowledge, skills, and attitude for these three learning outcomes. These are major learning outcomes. So if we say what is the difference now from the traditional to the outcomes approach? So traditional approach, the teachers were contented, okay, we have delivered lecture and they were okay, by just the knowledge part. So now here we have outcome based, that now there is knowledge, competence, and attitude also. So nowadays the attitude based subject is introduced in all the courses as well. And not only say if there are medical institutes, there are now this attitude-based subjects are being instituted, being in every course nowadays. So these three learning outcomes as knowledge, competence, and attitude. Previously, it was not in traditional approach. They were least concerned about the attitude of the students. So now it is the outcome based approach is more important. So now how do we map this learning outcome? It basically a desired graduate attribute, institutional head, or the institution's people in charge, or the heads of the departments. They should conduct a meeting, and they should have a group so that understand all the program outcomes, like the programs like BSc graduate, like chemistry or English or whatever. So they are having a particular form of group. So they're much concerned about the program outcomes, and then this program outcomes are related to the subject outcomes in say few points at least, so that the program outcomes are related to the subject outcomes. Say practical knowledge. So if I don't write some subject outcomes which are related to my program outcome, then I should implement, I should again revise my course specification or course, here we say specification, we have to write the subject outcomes that is to be related to the program outcomes for the quality purposes. And then now how is that just the, we say that is understanding a desired learning outcome for subject for interior designers. If we say, for an example, we are taking an example of interior designers. So is just the term understood. If I take a lecture and if I say, okay, did you understand? All of the students, did you understand? Surely nod their head. Some students, the students say, okay, it is, they are taking that lecture for attendance. And only few, 10%, they will post question and they will understand. If make them involved in a group activity or some related skillful activity, then they might be much more interested in that topic, much more interested in that particular knowledge be gained. So we have, the teacher's duty is to make a topic understood three-dimensionally, basically three-dimensionally in day-to-day life's knowledge. So to relate, they should give a few examples which they relate to their day-to-day. So if we go on the level understanding by the students, so if we say this arrow is showing the low level understanding, that is memorize. They will memorize their topics and identify or name. Okay, this is definition, and comprehend sentence and describe, relate. So the high level of understanding is to reflect. If a particular student understand a topic, he will ask a question, just the speed of, he will, why are you saying like this? Why, how can you say earlier? How can I do? How can I solve such problem was faced by me? Can I implement, I solve topic which you have taught me today? So they reflect, the student should reflect. There should be an interaction between teacher and the student. So you know that this is understand there is an interaction between the teacher and student. Then the students is giving a sign that they have a high level of understanding. So they apply to the problems, then they hypothesize, then relate to principle or plan nearby problems. So they are interacting with you. If they are saying, okay, I use situation was by me, is this problem be solved by the topic and by if you understand this topic in further details. So this is the people interpret, that is the teachers expect that high understand from the students, and students just say, okay, we understood. Students are comfortable that we understood. So now if say interior design, if we say, so the teacher just, the old learning outcome was, intended outcome was distributing the knowledge, and now it's like, are they able to use the materials which of the information were given, are they able to use the material as interior design? So basically now alignment, teaching, learning, and assessment. So now if we align, so it's here saying, this is just an example. So I taught Stripe how to whistle. So the teacher is saying, oh, I taught him to whistle. So another friend is saying, I don't hear him whistling. So I cannot hear he is whistling or not. I said I taught him. I didn't say he learned it. So the learning process, it is thus the teacher is how to whistling is cannot, the part the student learned or not, that is the skill being displayed by the student. teachers, okay, I taught him. I taught 30 students, I taught 25 students. But the students, they have to display a certain skill, certain hand-on to knowledge, that the teacher or the any person can understand. The student gain knowledge. The student is able to learn it, implement it. So if we say there should be a constructive alignment, that is teaching and learning from the assessment method support the desired learning outcome. Assessment, like we are just taking the questions or exams, or assessment methods should be implemented differently, so that have a good desired learning outcome. So for that, we say for the intending outcome, we say we are using some materials for the interior decoration. So how to provide so this information, the students learning, the teach, so they have the properties of the material, they know the properties of the material. Assessment, examination, knowledge of the property of materials. So it is basically we are enhancing the alignment. We are making the alignment more enhanced. In what sense? Basic, how can us now? What is the particular assessment? So if we say the use of materials as interior designer as intended learning outcome. So teaching and learning, we gave the lectures. Say produce a user guide. So now examination is misalignment. If we take alignment, we should tell the students for the assessment method to produce a user guide, to make a user guide or a case study. So if they are doing it themselves, implementing and hand-on tools, if they are doing a case study, so they are more involved, like a small research project or small case study. So they are more involved and come to know situations which they have to they dealing with after they can complete their particular course. That is more. The teachers should make them that this should be a prior assessment tool for all the in the institutions. So we should plan teaching, learn, assessment with alignment in mind. So you should check questions when planning teaching and learning, how active it is and how related it is real life. So what outcomes does it promote? So we check questions. So this can be done by the different members of the course. Like here, I can talk about Saudi Arabia. Here, if I make one question paper, we have 7-8 faculties. My question paper will be revised before giving it to the students. That they some questions on the skill-based questions, knowledge-based questions, and then all these are checked, that what a percentage. So this is priorly checked before giving even class this semester test to the student. So this is done here, and I think it should be done, and it should be like it should be done in a healthy environment. This is more basic requirement, because we should be doing it in a healthy environment, in the positive, have the positive outcomes. This is a duty. This is a for each and every faculty and each and every member of the institute. So this should be in a positive and healthy manner. So if we say teacher learning methods, so the learning outcome, this is what this has been tabulated here. So one way lecture, and it's just basic understanding. It is by passive listening, like somebody is giving lecture and the others listening. Interactive lecture, higher level understanding of the content and thinking skills, and they apply to solve familiar problems. Then tutorials, higher level understanding of content, apply thinking and communications. We are doing tutorials as well, in which there are cognitive skills are implemented. Here in South Africa, we are doing tutorials for a subject, for a course in which the practical part is involved. So there are tutorials involved. And then group work. This is very efficient. These are very good learning outcome method. This teaching learning method. So this group work is showing you high level understanding. When work in a group, they're able to discuss, they're able to come to a problem solving attitude. So they have critical thinking, communication skills, and leadership and team qualities. So you have self learning. So high level of understanding and lifelong learning. They self learning. Then experimental learning. So again, they have practical skills, reflecting thinking, and lifelong learning skills. Then if we say case studies, so case studies involve high level understanding of the content. So case studies, they will study particular topic in detail with their information gained the teacher, and as well as they will search through different available internet facilities. So interpret, analyze issues from information they have gained, apply knowledge to solve problems in simulated situations. So now projects. So this, I suppose, project should be even a graduate level. This is my perception, because if you involve students in doing some project, so they are able to project and field work. So so let's finish. So we will. So I can discuss you the points later. Projects have deep understanding of content because they will implement it. They will use their brains. So how first of all, they select a topic. To select a topic is itself a big job. So for a student to think a topic related to the topic taught is making the cognitive skills working. So then projects, they have to integrate knowledge of different disciplines, creativity, critical thinking, formulate and solve new problems, and management skills. So these are all involved in the projects, and they are very efficiently being carried. Although this do require great efforts from the teacher, but all this system is established for a particular course, then we have good learning outcomes. And as such, this is being required by the quality. So simulation, role play, and game. So high order thinking skills. So if we we have a game. So like nowadays, this pandemic situation is there. So we can much maybe in future or somewhere in the near future, we can use the like video games or some games. We can all the students to play cognitive skills and to put their knowledge in terms of game that is related to the education institutes. They are related to the course. So this involves higher order thinking. So they apply knowledge or solve problems and leadership and teamwork again, and communications again. This is basically all being leading to a good learning outcome. So now laboratory work, that have practical knowledge and practical skills being implemented. Then for some guide instructions, they know the steps to be done at this step, and they are able to implement it. They are able to do it. So how efficiently they are able to do it? What result is the result of particular laboratory work? So then collect and analyze data and present them, and to solve a particular problem based on the laboratory work. Then field work. This is much necessary, I suppose, these days. But due to the pandemic again, actually, here in Saudi, we have distance maintained. We are having a blended education now, that the students, they are told to do 5 practical in a particular day. We have a batch 30 students. 10 students are called on a particular day. Sunday it is work here. So say Sunday, first week, the working Sunday, the teacher and 10 of the students from that particular class will be called, and they will be made to do 5 practical throughout the day. keeping in mind to maintain the social distance. I mean, they are wearing the mask, they are having their temperature checkup, they are having all this precaution measures are taken before entering to the college. So the 10 students, they will be performing the practicals and they will be at a distance apart, considerable distance apart. And also, so this is if we're able to do that at so this blended if we are able to conduct some part of our studies at college, because it is online teaching and teaching face to face is a great difference. Okay, so when the teacher and the students, they do practical, may not 10, maybe 5, because if you are able to deal with this situation, god willing situation is not for a long time, so they will be able to come back to colleges. For now we can do blended teaching, so we can maintain the distance, we can have this um, in a day we can complete our few practicals or hand on to knowledge activity at the through students and do it. So then we have e-learning, that is information technology skill, lifelong learning. Again, e-learning will provide one good part of online teaching is that you can open the videos, you can share book, you can write it on the blackboard. So take the student understand the whiteboard. So students will the student may ask question. The students, if the student is not too well, also he or she can, if the student is interested. It always be depending on the type of students. There are every type of students throughout the world. There are reluctant students, there are good students. So the student is interested, he or she in any case be show 100% attendance. So this attendance be made important, be it online, be it offline. So we have learning outcomes assessed by various assessment methods, that is methods commonly used, that is by the majority. This is a member of information, that just examination and multiple choice. This is just given and the students satisfy, okay, I got A plus, I got A, and they are fighting for 2 marks. So this should not be attitudes. Actually, they like we are doing FDP, okay, faculty development program. I suppose that students should also be given such program to make them understand how important is for them to gain information and to apply it. The students at that age of the college age, they are least concerned actually. So there should be some program for starting a course that these are the jobs you can acquire and these are the positive, and you have such and such competition with other institutions throughout the world as well as nationally, internationally. So if you don't compete, you don't have a mind for competence, then you will lacking behind. So there's like LP, there should be some student development program also, so as to realize them, as to make them more interested, as to make them more involved in such activity, because least concerned, they are concerned about the marks. So these types of program, maybe online, maybe offline, should be done for the students as well. So then methods more appropriate for assessing high level understanding, that is open book examination. So the student is made to given a particular topic. So okay, the open book test. So he is okay. I learned this topic from here, this topic from here. So he is that is showing a high level of understanding. Or take home assignments so they can work on that assignment. And then method for assessing competence. So that is this very major part for the learning based outcome. This is the major part. If any course is involving this project, case study or practicum or folio and or field based learning, then the course is the institute is the best institute. If, for example, I say that there is a nursing institute and sister is giving injection, and if the sister is not able to find a vein, and वो वेन ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रही है, बार बार नर्व्स मिल रही है, एंड शी ब्लैक वहां धब्बा, पेशेंट जो है वो दर्द से उसको बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, तो उसको फिर ऐसा लगेगा कि ये कौन सा तरह है, इस यहाँ पे तो इस अस्पताल में दोबारा मुझे आना नहीं है, आई मस्ट प्रेफर अदर हॉस्पिटल. So it happens one and all. If you don't have students as the learning outcomes, and hospital you find even the hospitals are asking more these are students basically more involved, and to understand this process is important for them. Students should be engaged, and they should made to realize the importance. Only teacher is putting efforts, or you are making for students conduct their project study or case study will not be. They should realize why we are doing this. They should realize the importance of learning. So this is basically all over world in the country. There's no importance of competence, but maybe in India there should be student programs prior to starting the course, so that they efficiently understand and are involved 100%. So the teacher and the student both are involved. Only then we have these 100% success. So teaching methodology, this methodology at the direction include a description of the teaching learning methods to be employed to facilitate learning. So this will be just how methods are assigned. So within the learning outcomes of the subject. So how do you design? How do you design your particular teaching so that you even few are implemented, you are at a success, and you are able to say that the students, yes, they learned some skill, yes, they are showing in their behavior that they learned. So the student is asking particular question, and a student is able to make understand another student. So this group discussion in particular, I make my students come, and if I say who understands the topic, I taught this, who understands. If students raise their hand, I say, okay, come. So again, this is what I have told. Again, now you become a teacher for for my topic. What you have understand. While the scientists teach, come to know that this loophole, she this and this. So when I come to know, I again repeat topic. So we do this online, offline, both. You can make the student ask, what do you understand till now? So now then assessment methods, this should assessment methods, and that is relative weighing and indicate of the subject learning comes that each method purpose assess, also provide a brief explanation of the appropriateness of assessment methods in assess the intent learning out. Which this assessment methods should be more focused. Like suppose we are doing a case study and I make a group, so that rap skill is also acquired by the student. So I make a group. So I say, okay, you are in charge of this. So when I advise, students should raise the importance. Plus, there should be some award. Suppose teachers also and students also. If there should be a competition award to the teachers also, who does the best learning outcomes, who students, the teacher is the say first 3, 1, 2, 3. So we will be awarding them the certificate. Whole world on even the film creator said it is hell or heaven. स्वर्ग और नर्क, दो चीजों के लिए सारी दुनिया काम करती है, या तो पनिश मिलेगा या फिर इनाम मिलेगा, या somebody is acknowledging you, you're very well done. So the students should also be given some certificate. Yes, this was the best group in our college, in our institute, conducting such activity, and should be known to all. Yes, so they will be more interested, be more involved. Such activities, project activities. So which is the best? We should award them. We should give some certificate to the students and teachers as well. So both are involved. So the case studies, and they are the most well part. The case scenario authentic and open-minded. So the questionnaire requires students to analyze and interpret the data in the case and knowledge situation. Now portfolio assessment. The portfolio encourages student responsibility and to learn their performance. So they are showing their life learning skill. So I suppose I am for this. Thank you. And
Yes, Kakul ma'am.
yes,
Yes, thank you so very much for delivering that amazing talk on the topic of outcome-based education and assessment. Although there was some technical issue with the voice, but these things are inevitable part of such programs. I now ask, or rather request, Dr. Archana Bhatia ma'am to present her views on today's session and conclude the program.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, perfectly.
Okay, Ji. First of all, Dr. Kakul Hussain, a very good lecture delivered by you. And I am reminding of one couplet for the teachers especially. This was written by our late Prime Minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, for the teachers. ना इतना आम ही समझो जितने आम लगते हैं, ना इतना खास ही जानो जितने खास दिखते हैं, माना हमें न करना आया चेकों पर हस्ताक्षर, बड़ी कारीगरी से नाम हम दिलों पर लिखते हैं. So your delivery, your style, your content, and the topic you have chosen is so vast and so relevant. I think all the faculty members of DAV College must have enjoyed. So, ma'am, I think first of all, I should like to mention the name of our principal, Dr. Savita Bhagat, who is a true academician, a very kind-hearted lady, who is organizing such kind of programs. And with her, Shri Mukesh Bansalji, who is the convener of this teacher training program, a person who is full of wisdom and a very vast experience in the Department of Commerce in our college. I think both of them needs a lot of appreciation, and I think we should appreciate their efforts. And the resource person, there were 3 resource persons in this particular teacher training program. On the first day, we were having Professor Vinayak. Yesterday, we were having Professor Bediji, and today we are having a young faculty like you, Dr. Kakul Hussain. Ma'am, Principal ma'am has given me 2 responsibilities to cover today. Firstly, to sum up your lecture and share my own views about the higher education. And secondly, to extend vote of thanks. So in the first place, I would like to thank Dr. Kakul Hussain for her exhaustive lecture. Ma'am, you have covered such a vast area, such a vast subject in a very, say, in a span of say 50 to 55 minutes. I like your idea of planned teaching, learning, and assessment with alignment in mind. That was a very mind-blowing topic which you touched in your intellectual talk. Various teaching and learning methods also. And I think the topic you have covered is a need of the hour in higher education. Now, let me try to sum up my own thoughts about the higher education. In India, there are so many stakeholders who are associated with higher education. Firstly, the students, who are the most important component. Secondly, is the teachers, and then our government policies and day-to-day changing environment in the higher education. As far as Indian education system in higher education is concerned, this is training only to the mind, but not to the heart. That is the main drawback of our Indian education system.
Yes.
Ethical values need to be revised, need to be inculcated, not only among the students, but also among the teachers. Long back, I'm reminded of one very good saying that wisdom dawns from inside. Actually, whatever courses we organize for the students or the teachers or any stakeholder associated with the higher education, the main thing is that we need to be self-motivated, we need to be self-aware, we need to be ethical internally, or as far as our duties and responsibilities are concerned. And the teacher need to have a little bit of inner craving to know things, to know technology, and to sharing of the knowledge is very important. Sometimes we are equipped with the knowledge, but we don't want to share it. That is the major drawback in our teaching community associated with higher education. As far as students are concerned, they only want to have the examination oriented approach. There is reluctance on the part of students to be aware of the new system or the new policies. They want to have only that much of knowledge which can provide them a good amount of degree. That's it. That is their basic idea. But today the hour is of the blended concepts with creativity to be introduced in the teaching profession, and the main onus of responsibility lies on the shoulders of teacher itself, because teacher is that particular kadi in this higher education which need to be very much not only self-motivated but also try to extend help to the students and the upliftment of the higher education. In Indian system, one more drawback is there. The GDP component spent on the higher education is very minimal. And lot many expectations on the part of authorities, namely NAC or NIRF, are there. If you're not spending on the higher education, if you are not going to provide any kind of job security to the teachers associated with the higher education in India, the quality cannot be improved. As far as ranking system assessment of institutions is concerned in India, I was reading in one research paper, even the ranking of NAC and NIRF is not matching at all. There's a lot of mismatch in that. So let us all to build up a good academic environment. Let us try to revive our old traditional methods of teaching with a very good blend of, say, innovative methods and the new methods and the technology which has come into our way, especially during the COVID-19. So that is the main focus of that. So ma'am, a very good lecture. Again, thanks on the part of the college. And as far as the thank you ceremony is concerned, or extending vote of thanks is concerned, I would like to thank the persons besides Dr. Savita Bhagat and Shri Mukesh Bansalji. I would like to thank the organizing team, Madam Bindu Roy, who anchored the program for the last 2 days, and the today anchor, that is Rajni ma'am, who is a part of organizing team also, Madam Lalita Dhingra, Madam Ritu Kheda, and of course, last but not the least, our main important person, IT cell, that is Mr. Dinesh. So again, thanks to all of you for making this particular, say, teaching learning program, teaching training program organized by DAV College a grand success, because right now also I'm watching that there are around about 90 participants, all our faculty members who have joined this program, making this program a grand success. I hope everybody must be enlightened through your lecture, ma'am. Again, thank you, and thank you.